Start. With clashes continuing between the police and protesters led by Imran Khan and the nation that Pakistani democracy has stabilized is being put to the sword. The incumbent government of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, who has been deposed by cops twice before, is the first government resulting out of a democratic transition of power in Pakistan. Yet it is being hemmed by opposition leaders and non-state actors in a way that can only weaken democratic institutions. Notwithstanding Khan's demand that the government resign over alleged irregularities in last year's elections, opinion polls suggest that Sharif still remains more popular than the two opposition leaders. But the latter have used television and social media as force multipliers, projecting their strength to be far greater than it actually is. Thus, once again, the situation is tailor made for the army to intervene. The current circumstances are the result of a structural bipolarity in Pakistani polity, whereby the government of the day is expected to cede authority to the army in matters of security and foreign policy. Given his strength in parliament, Sharif was beginning to challenge this, as exemplified by his decision to travel to New Delhi for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's swearing-in ceremony. However, he is going to be much chastened by recent experiences. There are credible reports of a pact between Sharif and the army, whereby Sharif will hand over control of strategic policy areas such as relations with India, Afghanistan, and the US in return for being allowed to remain in the PM's post. While the neutering of Sharif is bad news for Pakistani democracy, it clarifies matters as far as New Delhi is concerned. India-Pakistan relations have fallen victim to the structural bipolarity of Pakistani politics. Like Sharif, the previous PPP government in Islamabad too had wanted peace with India, only to be derailed by the 26/11 attacks orchestrated by Pakistan's deep state. On the other hand, General Pervez Musharraf's regime had largely enforced the sacrifice ceasefire at the border and almost delivered a deal on Kashmir. In the face of such evidence, and since India policy appears to have been formally transferred to the army in any case, New Delhi must open direct channels of communication with the generals, without whose consent a peace deal is impossible. Mamata Banerjee has set the suite of Bengal's politics accrual with her suggestion that the could in future consider a tie-up with the left and that no one is untouchable in politics. The left may have rejected the idea for now, but for a politician who has built her entire career on militant opposition to the communist red sun that shone over Bengal for 3 decades, even the suggestion is unprecedented. After watching Nitish Kumar and Lalu Prasad bury the hatchet to successfully stop the BJP march into Bihar in recent by-elections, Didi is hinting that what was once politically unthinkable may not be impossible in Bengal too. The left was the fulcrum of all Bengali politics after it took power in 1977. All subsequent opposition alliances like Mamta's own with Congress in the early 2000s were anti-left. Now it seems BJP's saffron may replace the Marxist red as the new unifier of Bengal's politics. The Modi factor and left's failure to provide a viable opposition to Didi meant that BJP almost tripled its vote share in Bengal's Lok Sabha election to 16.85%, up from 6.1% in 2009. Statistics show that BJP has eaten into both left's and Congress vote share. For a party that had hitherto won a grand total of only 3 Bengali Lok Sabha seats since its earlier Jan Sangh 2 in 1951, this saffron advance has led to a radical reshaping. There are serious question marks on whether a possible left Trinamool tie-up in the future is feasible or practical. But by talking about it, Didi has joined other politicians who think old axioms are redundant. Even so, such short-term alliances are only tactical devices. In the long term, BJP's strides necessitate a strategic response favoring a new politics of development premised on fulfilling the aspirations of a young India which wants more than promises and symbolism. That's all.